All right, so buckle up, everyone, because today we are diving deep into something truly mind-boggling.
Oh, I like where this is going.
We're talking about the hollow earth theory.
Okay, yeah.
And, we're going to explore Agartha, which is a hidden city said to be located within the hollow earth.
Awesome.
We've got historical accounts, ancient myths, and even some, fantastical stories we're going to dig into.
Sounds fun.
And we're not going to treat any of this as, hard science.
Right, of course.
But come on, who doesn't love a good what if, right?
I know I do. I actually think one of the most intriguing aspects of this whole concept is that it plays with ideas we've all probably pondered at some point,
Oh, for sure.
Like what lies beneath the surface?
Yeah.
What secrets is our planet hiding?
Yeah, it's like that innate human curiosity. And, you bring Antarctica into the mix. It just amps up the mystery, right?
That's true.
We've all heard the stories, those whispers about Admiral Byrd's flight over the South Pole back in the 40s.
Right. Officially, it was just, tough weather conditions.
Yeah, officially.
But the rumors persist.
Oh, they do.
Rumors of him seeing, this lush green valley.
Mm-hmm.
And even encountering, beings that are beyond our understanding.
It's fascinating. And the fact that there was just silence after Byrd returned officially, it adds fuel to the fire.
Absolutely.
Right. It makes you wonder, what did he really experience?
What'd he see?
Exactly. But, okay, before we get too deep into this whole Agartha thing, maybe we should back up a bit and lay the groundwork for this hollow earth concept.
Yeah, sounds good.
So, just to kind of recap for everyone, what exactly are we talking about when we say hollow earth? Is it like in that movie, The Core?
The Core, yeah.
Where there's this whole other world down there in the center of the earth?
Well, no, not exactly.
Okay.
I mean, the movie takes some creative liberties, obviously.
Right.
But you're probably familiar with the basic model we all learned in school, right?
Yeah.
A solid core, molten mantle, and then the crust that we live on.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
But proponents of the hollow earth theory, they have a different view. They imagine these vast caverns inside the earth, inner oceans.
Oh.
Maybe even an entire ecosystem thriving down there.
So not like a tiny little world at the core.
No.
But more like pockets or even like continents within the earth itself.
Exactly.
I'm trying to picture this, like these massive hidden caves. But wait, if it's all underground, where would the light even come from?
That is a great question. And that's where the idea of an inner sun comes into play.
An inner sun?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some theories propose that there's this miniature sun at the Earth's center.
Whoa.
Maybe it's some kind of source of geothermal energy that's providing light and warmth to this hidden world.
Okay.
Others, they propose that maybe it's bioluminescent plants or even some strange atmospheric effects that we just don't understand yet.
Wow, an inner sun. That's pretty wild. But okay, let's say these massive spaces do exist within the Earth. How would you even get down there?
Well, those rumors we were talking about, the ones about Antarctica?
Yeah.
This is where it gets really interesting. Some believe that the poles, they act like natural openings.
Oh, okay.
To this inner world, like giant gateways that are hidden under the ice.
Wait, so you're saying there could be a secret passage to this incredible world, like right under the South Pole?
Exactly. I mean,
Right.
We're talking, explorers stumbling upon hidden caverns,
Right.
crystalline archways leading into this warm, vibrant world beneath the ice.
This is starting to sound like something out of a Jules Verne novel.
It kind of is, isn't it?
It is. But we're just getting started because inside this hollow earth, some believe, is Agartha.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not just a city.
No.
It's thought of as a network of interconnected realms.
Almost a utopia, you could say.
Okay, so let's unpack this whole Agartha idea a bit. What makes it so unique? Are we talking like a super technologically advanced society?
Well, some say it's that,
Okay.
but also a place of incredible spiritual enlightenment.
Really?
Yeah, where people live in peace and harmony
Wow.
with each other and with the planet.
Okay, I have to admit, this Agartha as utopia idea, it does sound a bit, too perfect. Are there any sources that paint a different picture?
That's what makes this research so fascinating.
Right.
You'll find everything from ancient Buddhist texts
Okay.
that talk about this hidden land of, advanced beings
Mm-hmm.
to more modern esoteric traditions
Yeah.
like Theosophy,
Right.
which really fleshed out a lot of the Agartha mythos.
So it's not just one single source.
Okay.
It's this tapestry of myths, legends, whispers of historical encounters
Exactly.
that make up the Agartha story.
And as we go through these accounts, you'll see certain themes emerge.
Okay, like what?
This idea of hidden knowledge, advanced beings, and a really deep connection to the Earth's energy.
It really makes you wonder if these are just flights of fancy,
Right.
or if there's something more to it.
So if they're trying to tell us something much, much deeper.
All right, my brain's already in overdrive here. But let's just take a step back for a second. Like, why does this whole Hollow Earth and Agartha thing, why does it captivate us so much? What is it about these concepts that resonate so strongly with people?
I think it speaks to that innate human curiosity about the unknown. I mean, we've explored so much of the surface world.
It's true.
But what about what lies beneath?
Right.
It also taps into this maybe yearning for something better, a hope for a society that's achieved a certain level of harmony, balance.
Right.
Something we seem to struggle with up here.
Yeah, it's like this combination of adventure and escapism, but also this longing for something much more meaningful. It's like maybe these stories give us a way to imagine a better world.
I think so.
One where we've evolved beyond our current limitations.
Maybe. But before we get too philosophical, I think we should start to delve into some of the specifics about Agartha.
Okay, yeah.
Like, what kind of beings are said to live there? And what do these stories tell us about their culture, their technology?
Let's do it.
Picking up on that idea of a more meaningful world, a lot of the accounts of Agartha describe its inhabitants as not just technologically advanced, but also, like, spiritually evolved.
So we're not talking about your average, sci-fi aliens with laser guns and spaceships.
Not exactly.
Something a little more, I don't know, enlightened.
Yeah, more like that.
What kind of beings are we even talking about here? Are there any descriptions that pop up a lot?
The descriptions are pretty varied, actually, which makes it even more interesting, I think.
Okay.
Some talk about humanoids, but with this radiant aura. Almost like, they've mastered some sort of energy we don't even know about yet.
Right.
Then there are others that mention mythical creatures, things that sound straight out of folklore and legend.
Okay, so I'm picturing elves, dwarves, maybe even a dragon or two. But are we talking about literal creatures here, or could these be like symbolic, representing something else?
That's a great question. And it's important to remember that a lot of these sources, they blend the physical and the metaphorical.
Right.
So yeah, a mythical creature could totally represent a type of energy.
Right, okay.
Or a spiritual being, or even like, a psychological archetype.
Yeah, like in mythology, how those creatures often represent different parts of ourselves.
Exactly.
The dragon symbolizes our fear, the phoenix rising from the ashes.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that makes these Agartha stories so rich. You can interpret them on so many different levels.
So many layers to unpack.
Yeah. But going back to the inhabitants, the most common thread is this deep connection they seem to have with nature.
Okay.
And an advanced understanding of energy.
So is that maybe where their advanced technology comes from? Like, are they harnessing geothermal energy from the Earth's core? Or have they figured out how to, tap into some kind of universal energy field or something?
That's a fascinating question. I mean, we're definitely in the realm of speculation here.
Yeah.
But some accounts describe these cities built from crystalline structures.
Just
Yeah, almost like these living organisms that just pulse with light.
Wow.
Imagine a technology that's not separate from nature, but actually integrated with it.
Okay, hold on. Crystalline cities. That sounds incredible. It's kind of making me think of those bioluminescent forests in Avatar.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Where everything is connected and glowing. Maybe James Cameron was channeling some Agarthan vibes when he made that movie.
Maybe he was.
Yeah.
But jokes aside, it really does raise an interesting question. What if their understanding of energy, both internal and external, is the key to their advancement?
It makes you think about that inner sun concept again, right?
Exactly.
What if the Philosopher's Stone isn't a physical object, but more like a state of being, a way to tap into our own internal power source?
Precisely. Imagine a society that's mastered that. The ability to tap into that inner potential that's within each of us.
Yeah.
Could that be the source of their wisdom, their technology? Maybe even their longevity? I mean, who knows?
Okay, I'm starting to see how it all connects. But this is where I always get tripped up. How do you actually access that inner potential? Is it meditation? Some, secret ritual?
That's where things get even more interesting, I think. Remember those subterranean rivers we talked about earlier?
Yeah, potentially connecting the outer oceans to Agartha.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What if those represent pathways? energetic currents even, that can guide us to that inner realm.
Oh, okay. So the journey to Agartha, whether physical or metaphorical, is a journey inward too.
I think so.
It's about like navigating those hidden depths within ourselves, facing those shadows, and eventually finding that source of light inside.
Yeah, that's a powerful way to look at it. And it really brings to mind that classic hero's journey,
Oh, yeah.
the hero venturing into the unknown,
Facing challenges.
facing challenges and temptations.
Murder.
But ultimately, they emerge transformed.
So in this case, the dragon we're slaying isn't some literal monster.
Right.
It's those inner demons,
Yeah.
our limiting beliefs.
The things that are holding us back from our true potential.
And the treasure we're finding at the end isn't gold or jewels, but that inner sun, that radiant source of wisdom and power that was within us all along.
Exactly.
Okay, I can definitely feel a shift happening in my thinking here, but
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, this whole inner journey concept can feel a bit abstract sometimes.
Oh, I get it.
Are there any, like, practical tools or practices that could help us navigate this metaphorical landscape?
Yeah, and that's where things like, spirit science come in.
Yeah.
And the teachings attributed to Thoth. Remember, we talked about spirit science as this blend of, like, metaphysics and ancient wisdom.
Yeah, and Thoth, that Egyptian god of knowledge, always depicted as this guide, this revealer of secrets.
Right.
So how do those two connect to this idea of the inner journey?
Well, think of spirit science as like a framework for understanding consciousness and the universe. And Thoth as like an archetype
Okay.
for the wise inner teacher, that voice of intuition that can guide us.
So could it be that those teachings, or at least the ones attributed to Thoth, offer us like a roadmap to access that inner wisdom, that connection to the divine matrix?
That's what a lot of people believe. And they
Yeah.
point to things like meditation,
Right.
visualization,
Oh, yeah.
working with sacred geometry, even exploring ancient myths as ways to tap into a deeper level of awareness.
So practices that can help us quiet the mind,
Yes,
open our perception, connect with the more subtle energies that flow through us and the universe.
precisely. And as we cultivate that interconnection, maybe we start to resonate with those higher frequencies,
Yeah.
those realms of consciousness where something like Agartha might exist.
All right, now we're getting into some seriously mind-bending territory. But before we get completely lost in the cosmic ether, let's bring it back down to Earth for a second. We've talked a lot about the metaphorical side of Agartha. Are there any physical clues out there, any evidence, anything tangible that might suggest that it actually exists?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's fueled countless expeditions and investigations. I mean, while there's no definitive proof, there are some really intriguing anomalies and unexplained phenomena that keep the speculation alive.
Like what? Like those weird magnetic anomalies reported in Antarctica? Or the stories of those ancient maps that supposedly show entrances to the inner world?
Exactly. There are even stories of explorers claiming to have found hidden caverns or tunnels in remote parts of the world. Now, it's hard to verify a lot of these stories, of course.
Right.
But they definitely keep the mystery alive and inspire people to keep searching.
So even if we can't definitively prove or disprove Agartha's existence, the search itself can lead to some pretty cool discoveries and a deeper understanding of our planet and maybe even ourselves.
Absolutely. And who knows? Maybe the real treasure isn't about finding some physical city, but uncovering that hidden potential that's within us, the Agartha that exists in each of us.
All right, I'm definitely feeling that sense of wonder and possibility again. But before we wrap up this part, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier, Fibonacci spiral, the golden ratio, all that. You said it's found throughout nature, but how does that tie into this Agartha narrative?
Ah, excellent question. This is where we see a potential link between ancient wisdom, modern science, and the mysteries of Agartha.
Okay, I'm all ears. Lay it on me. All right, so we're back and ready to wrap up our deep dive into the Hollow Earth and Agartha. And before we took that break, we were just getting into this really interesting connection between Fibonacci's spiral and the idea of like a hidden, super advanced civilization.
You know, what I find so fascinating is that Fibonacci's spiral, it's not just some abstract mathematical concept. It's this fundamental pattern that shows up all over in nature.
Right, like you see it everywhere.
Exactly, the growth of plants, the arrangement of seeds in a sunflower, even in the shape of galaxies.
Oh, wow, I never thought about it like that.
And the golden ratio, which is closely related to the spiral, it's often seen as this symbol of beauty and harmony in art and architecture.
So are you saying that those mathematical principles, like, they might actually be woven into the very fabric of Agartha, maybe even influencing their technology or how they understand the universe?
It's definitely a possibility worth considering, right?
Yeah.
Imagine a civilization that's fully grasped the power
Oh, yeah.
of these universal patterns and
Mhm.
incorporated them into like every aspect of their
Oh,
existence, their
wow.
buildings, their energy systems, their way of life. It would be a completely different paradigm than ours.
It would be mind-blowing. It kind of makes me think about those ancient megalithic structures like Stonehenge and the pyramids.
Oh yeah,
There's always been this speculation about them being connected to cosmic energy or sacred geometry or something. Could Agartha be like a super advanced version of that?
that's a great analogy. And it brings up an important question. If these universe patterns are so fundamental to creation, could they hold the key to like accessing hidden realms or higher levels of consciousness?
You're talking about the divine matrix again, right? That idea from spirit science about an interconnected field of energy. Could Fibonacci's spiral and the golden ratio, could those be like the blueprints for navigating that field?
That's what a lot of people believe. They see those mathematical patterns as a type of cosmic code, like a language that we can learn to understand.
Okay.
And the more we align ourselves with these patterns, like we tap into the harmony and flow of the universe.
Okay, I'm seeing how this all connects, but it still feels a bit like a giant puzzle. If we wanted to apply these ideas to our own lives, where would we even begin?
Well, remember how we were talking about the alchemical process being like a metaphor for transformation?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first step in alchemy is something called calcination, which is basically breaking a substance down into its basic components.
Okay.
And in a way, that's kind of what we're doing here, right? We're breaking down these really complex concepts and trying to find those core truths that they might hold.
So it's like we need to look beyond the surface, question our assumptions, be open to new perspectives. We need to just dig deeper, both literally and metaphorically.
Exactly. And as we do that, we might just start seeing Fibonacci spirals and golden ratios everywhere. Not just in nature, but also in the patterns of our own lives, in our relationships, even our thoughts and emotions.
And maybe that's how we start to access that inner sun within ourselves, not by going to some physical place, but by aligning ourselves with those universal principles that are already there within us and all around us.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And as we do that, we might just find that the journey to Agartha, it's not about traveling to some hidden city. It's about creating that paradise within ourselves.
I love that idea. It's about taking those principles of harmony and balance, of interconnectedness, the things that Agartha represents, and applying them to our lives, our communities, our relationship with the planet.
Absolutely. And as more people embark on that inner journey, maybe, just maybe, we can raise the vibration of the planet and create a world that reflects those Agarthan ideals.
Well, folks, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the Hollow Earth and Agartha. It's been a wild ride.
It really has.
We've gone from ancient myths to cutting-edge science, even touched on the mysteries of consciousness.
I hope you all enjoyed it. And as we wrap things up here, I just want to encourage everyone to keep that sense of wonder and curiosity alive. Don't be afraid to ask questions, to explore, to imagine the possibilities.
Because, maybe those real treasures, they're not hidden under the ice or in some far-off land. Maybe they're right here within us and in the incredible web of life that surrounds us.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Keep diving deep, and we'll see you next time.